Hello, everyone. Welcome to Financeology 101. Class is now in session. The information provided during this podcast is just that, information. You will need to do further research to address your specific situation. Enjoy the session. Welcome, everyone, to our first podcast of 2021. And we titled this podcast Real Talk because we're going to have someone come speak to us and give us her perspective on finances and real life. Now, this person is someone that is special to us, is a dear friend, someone we love and we trust dearly. And she wears many hats in our lives as a friend, as a sounding board, and as our attorney. She's our family attorney and our business attorney. So we want to welcome Miss Talita Bryant and just talk to us and give us your perspective on finances and how we should look at it moving forward in 2021.
So, Talita, if you don't mind, tell us, you can go ahead and give us an elevator speech as far as your business and any information you want to hand out, like the .com, the Instagram, the Facebook. Go ahead and use that platform to get yourself a PSA, public service.
Oh, okay. Well, thank y'all. First off, thank y'all for having me. It is an honor to be on this podcast with you. In addition to, I remember when a year and a half ago, you all came to my office with an idea. And now we're here. And I'm just so grateful and so thankful, first off, that y'all decided to allow me to take the journey with you as your attorney. We've been friends before. We were in business together. So I don't take any of this lightly. I don't take any of this for granted. And so just thank you for having me here. One thing about me is it's hard for me to talk about myself. I've done so much. I've been a part of so much. And it's like, where do you begin? And last thing I want to do is bore a whole bunch of people with a regular old bio. What I would like to say is, as far as, who I am a licensed attorney. I've been in practice going on 17 years, private practice for 15.
Wow.
And came up in a household where we didn't discuss money and lived above our means, didn't save, didn't understand money and how money worked. I grew up in Southeast Raleigh, low income housing. And my house was where you would buy liquor by the shot. So a lot of people don't know that about me, but you know what? It's all in your making, right? So, and so when people would come into our house, to purchase their drink or gamble or whatever, we had a can in the cabinet.
Oh, Jesus.
Y'all didn't know this. Y'all weren't ready.
No, we didn't.
Brace yourself. So whenever we wanted anything or needed any money, my mom would be like, look in the can. And sometimes it was money in the can and sometimes it wasn't. But we learned that, you don't take all the money out of the can because mama need the money in the can to be able to pay the bills.
Wow.
Because if you took all the money out of the can, the lights would be on. So
wow. That's deep.
That's real.
That's my mother's side. Now my father was like, everybody lives above their means. So yeah. And so that was my introduction in how money works and how finances work. And it wasn't until I think I was during 07, 08 when we went through the real estate bubble. And I had been in practice at that point, maybe 3 years, and money was flowing. And it was similar to the way when I was growing up with my mom. It was flowing, it was coming, and I used to say it's like drug dealer money, but doing it legally. But what I didn't understand was how to manage it. So when the housing bubble happened in 07, 08, and some other things happened in my practice, and then I was at a point where I couldn't buy a client. So,
Wow.
yeah. So I was praying, believing God, but was I really? And so what I had to do is I had to do a 360 about what I thought about business, what I thought about me as a person in God, and me as a business owner in God. And so I was like, okay, God, you promised me that you wouldn't cause me to be ashamed. So I don't know whether I'm off or you off, but I need you to show me now. Yeah. I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm
and
saying
you
right
were,
now.
and look, we know he ain't off, so it's probably you.
Wait, I didn't know. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure. And I'm surprised God ain't turned me inside out. But I know that's why he loved me, because I'm real. I'm real. God, I don't know if it's me or it's you, but we're gonna figure this out. Because you all I got.
Oh wow, wow.
So I had to regroup and I had to refocus.
Mm.
And people, by me being an attorney, people would think because you're an attorney, you make money. Money's
Yeah.
not an issue for you. Money's not a
Right.
problem. Well, I believe the reason why God allowed me to go through what I went through was to show me that money wasn't my God, that He was. That my
Okay.
clients weren't my source, but they were a resource. And so He
Wow.
was refocusing how I looked at things. And so I believe the scripture when it says, that you bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house. Test me in this. Okay, God, I'm going to test you. So I will do my 10%, right? I'm like, okay, God, I'm doing
Mhm.
my 10%, but the 90 ain't working. What's good? What's really good? Y'all, I'm trying. You know what? I pray that he doesn't strike us as we're talking.
I'm gonna disconnect
But you,
before you do.
but this was my real talk. This was my
Mm.
real talk. And so I had to refocus and regroup. I had a Jaguar again. I had a client to tell me, I don't want an attorney driving a car like I'm driving, because I was driving a Subaru. No, it was a Mitsubishi Galant.
Okay.
I love my Galant. My Galant was paid for.
Mm.
But I pulled up, and one of my clients, who was also somebody I grew up with, was like, T, it's time for you to come up, because people don't want an attorney that's struggling like them. So you got to, play the part, look the part. Okay. So I go out and buy the Jaguar. And this was just before the economic downturn. And so I'm driving the Jaguar, looking good, but struggling. And that's why I was like, my 90 ain't adding up, God. What's good? And then my 90 ain't adding up. And then we go through the '07, '08 economic downturn, and it's look even worse. But all I heard him say was, trust me,
Mm.
trust me. Right.
Yes, Lord.
So as I'm, my car is costing me more to keep it on the road than it is to make the payment. So I had to make a choice.
Wow.
Woo, my daughter was driving a Toyota Camry. It probably had about 300,000 miles in. It was her first car, and but we owned it. Okay, and she had just graduated from college, came home, and so I made a decision. The car gonna have to go back. Yes, it's gonna jack up my credit score, but I can't keep pouring money into this money pit and get nothing in return. So I cleaned the car out, brought all my personal belongings in, backed it up, and every day if I went out there, my car was out there, I had a ride to work. so, so the day it wasn't out there, I came back in the house and I told my daughter I need a ride to work. So if I get to the courthouse, I can make some money. Because that hustler mentality kick in. If I get to this courthouse, I can make something happen. And all I could still hear was God saying, trust me.
Mm. Yeah.
Trust me. Trust me. And in that, I'm like, okay, I'm trusting you, but my car got repossessed. I'm trusting you and I'm giving my 10. I'm trusting you and I'm giving everything that I got, and I'm not getting anything in return. So, but long story short, I just had to walk that out.
Right.
And in trusting him, the next month I closed a deal that allowed me to buy a Mercedes brand new cash.
Oh wow.
Wow. That's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you had to because your
Within a
FICO
month.
score probably been so low you couldn't afford to go get it on credit.
Well, you know what? I'm at this point where I just feel like I'm allergic to car payments, so I haven't had one since the Jaguar.
Look, the Lord said, "Well, you know you got bad credit, so I'm gonna make you just pay for it in cash."
But you know what? And speaking about credit, while I'm not saying anybody you shouldn't follow your credit score and keep up with your credit score, but again, God was teaching me about who He was.
Yeah,
I'm
Right.
bigger than your credit score.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
bigger than this financial system. If you
Right.
if you invest in my financial system and trust me and not
Right.
it, I got you, even in a famine.
Wow.
Because here we go now, fast forward to where we're going through right now, with COVID and social unrest and courts being closed down. I haven't missed a beat.
Wow, that's amazing right there.
That
I
is.
have I haven't missed a beat. I live within my means, and God continues to bless. And
That's a
so
tough
it's
way to listen.
yeah, it's not that that doesn't want us to have the things. He doesn't want the things to have us.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
I had to learn that. And so that's, and like I said, I told you about my upbringing, but here I am now. So I had to refocus what I thought about money and how to make it.
Wow. So do you have yourself on some kind of like allowance or for lack of a better word, budget? Robert and I like to say allowance because we fear the word. I'm gonna ask you this question. Let me start this way.
Mhm.
When you hear the word budget, what do you think of when you hear that?
Oh,
How does it make you feel?
I shut down and I see a spreadsheet full of numbers.
How about this here? When you was growing up, did your mama give you an allowance, for doing certain things? Your mama, your dad said, you clean the washing machine, they give you 10 cents or $10, whatever it may be, depending on how old you are.
Okay,
Did you
you
get
know where I
allowance?
grew up.
Did you? Yeah. Well, you was getting money out the can, so that can be considered as an allowance as you need thing, right? So when you hear the word allowance, how does that make you feel? Is that a positive effect, a negative effect?
Restricted.
So budget makes you feel
Restricted.
restricted. An allowance makes you feel, I'm gonna give you allowance. How does that make
Bound
you
up.
found?
Found out.
I can't
Mm.
go but so far.
So
Right.
what word do you use? Do you use to make yourself feel in a positive way? Because you know you gotta do those things. So how do you
Right.
change your mindset to do those things and make it feel it's a positive turn on for you? Is it a word? Is it a
Um,
situation?
is it where is it? Well, first off, just understanding, that whole, thing that I went through about money and
Okay.
rethinking what I thought about money and what I
Don't
thought about credit.
don't go back.
Because if I had the credit to get it, I would get it,
Right.
but didn't think about could I afford to pay for it.
Mm.
And so at the end of the day, for me, and the reason why I was like using words bondage and restrictions, one thing
Okay.
about me,
Right.
I'm a free flowing spirit.
Okay.
I don't want nothing to hold me down or hold me back.
I hear
And
you.
so when I see something that I want, I set it as a goal. Okay, now how do I get there? Now you call
Right.
it budgeting. You call it budgeting. I don't necessarily call it anything. I just say I know what I need. I know what my bottom line is.
Okay.
I know what I need to set aside for rainy days.
Okay.
And if I want something, I know what money I need to set aside to get that thing.
Yeah.
Now
So
my
you
daughter
said
has. Go
right.
ahead.
No, you go.
Now,
Go ahead.
so my daughter, she's a CPA. So
Okay.
yeah, so she primarily helps me a lot when it comes to my money. So she created this spreadsheet, and I'm like, okay, it was too many colors on there.
Rainbow.
just, just tell me what I got left over. But seriously though, I'm that person. I'm that person. Just tell me what I need to do. Right.
Right.
And
Right.
if I trust you in, especially with what you guys got going on with your app, I trust you and I know you. And if you tell me if I put all this stuff in your app, then at the end of the day, it's going to tell me when my bills are due. Now that will help my daughter out a whole lot.
Okay.
Because I had the thing where it was just like, it's not due until I get the final notice.
Why the
Like
lights go off?
me and do energy. We got a thing. They call me and leave me a message, and that means I got 3 days.
And see, it's funny you should say that because, like you said, you a lawyer, and people would think you would live by different means. You know what I'm saying? And but you have your daughter. That's like your accountability partner. Also sounds like too. You can bounce things off of her. Wow.
She is my
Wow.
accountability partner. And especially now that, as she's older now, she's 30. And so the roles have kind of not reversed, but kind of shift.
Okay.
And
Hmm.
so now, because when she was younger, I couldn't tell her that we were poor. Now, she didn't know it. She didn't know it. She just like mama made birthdays and Christmas big. Well, I knew those 2 days out of the year that I need to make sure that you were celebrated. Whereas the rest
Hmm.
of the year, don't ask me for nothing when we go into store. So her way of doing it was she'll pick it up and be like, "Mama, can I have this for my birthday or Christmas?" So, but
Okay.
but now as an adult, I very open and very honest with her. Money, yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. Just tell me at the end of the day how much I have.
Wow.
And so and then real talk, she's working with me now on, okay, Mom, we got to find your retirement plan.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
She got you on the
So she
right
is
track.
correct, correct, correct.
Well,
And you know what? A lot of people live like that, but they would never admit it. But a lot of
Hmm.
people live like that, and they really need to work on their mindset. It's a mindset that,
I agree.
because we all were raised like that. A lot of us were, because the same here. It was no talking about savings. There was nothing to save. Every penny
Right.
went somewhere on a bill somewhere. So,
Hmm.
and like my mom had a little can of money that she stashed in case we needed a little treat or something, or school was going on a trip so we could go. But most of us live like that, but we would never admit it.
Right. And I think by talking about it lets people know, you're not alone, number one. And it gives them a
Right,
safe space to be able to actually talk about it and
right,
to talk it through. And
right,
so my daughter, I could trust her, but what that did was free me up to be able to talk to others,
right,
about
mhm.
money.
right,
Hmm.
right. And a lot of times we think that everybody will look down on us, or everybody else is doing better than we are, because that's the facade we got going on, that we doing better. So you don't want to talk about it. But if you actually talk to people, everybody in the same boat.
Exactly.
We all
Exactly.
looking good. We sure look good. But you
Exactly.
peel back those layers, you'll see that
Exactly.
people robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so
And
you have to be okay with a season of looking stupid
Right,
to get it right.
right, right.
and from my experience with working with men, it's even worse because we put
Mhm.
on that extra thick layer of that onion you got to peel back, and you like it's still more onion to be peeled back because we want to have the appearance of though I'm taking care of things, and then we'll go to our man cave and we'll just will whittle away. So for
Mhm.
men, it's even more so of an issue because we just
Mhm.
don't want to admit to other men I need help.
Wow.
So and then when you grow up in that atmosphere of not seeing your parents talking about those things, it makes it even harder because you don't know how to converse about those topics in conversation. Who can I confide in?
Mhm.
Because I don't want to let
Mhm.
this guy know I don't have it going on. And guess what? The guy you talking to probably in the same situation. But because you two are not
Exactly.
talking about those things, it does harm.
Exactly.
That's why
Exactly.
I'm glad that Robin and I, we have friends that we can just talk openly about finances and money. How much,
Mhm.
how much I make, the trips and stuff like
Mhm.
that. We can talk openly.
Mhm.
So we're hoping that these conversations can help unbind people to have those
Mhm.
conversations with people, men and women, so we can, get to the next level of life and living.
Mhm.
Because
Exactly.
Because when you keep that secret binds you up. I mean, it
Right.
really restricts you. That because you're not talking, somebody out there could be holding your blessing, because you're not
Mhm,
saying
mhm,
anything.
mhm,
You
mhm,
done missed out on
Mhm.
that blessing, that
mhm.
opportunity, because of pride. Now
Yeah.
you are
Mhm.
bound up and stuck in this
Right.
situation, and you could have been out of it long time ago. God sent somebody, but you too prideful to say anything.
Let me ask you this
And then
question,
speaking of
Talib.
that,
Go
go
ahead. Go
ahead.
ahead, Talib. Go ahead. No, go ahead. And
No,
speaking
you
of
go
that, go
ahead.
ahead. No, you go
Okay.
ahead.
What I was gonna say, and speaking of that, like when I said you got to be okay with looking stupid for a season, in actuality, the only person that really thinks that you look stupid is yourself.
Right.
And so I had to get past that. And so some of my friends knew what, because after the blessing of the car, then I went through another issue where I had to walk it out. And I shared it with you, Elroy, and I don't think I've ever shared it with Robin, but I was entangled in litigation for 7 years.
Yep.
I had closed
Wow.
a business deal for a client, and the investor, it didn't go right, so the investor sued everybody, including me. And the client who brought me in the deal dipped out,
Mm.
and I
Wow.
was fighting, and it cost me over $100,000 to fight that lawsuit. So while yeah, I went through the situation with my car, but then a couple months later, I go through that. And by the grace of God, of course, He kept me. But there was a small handful of my friends who knew what I was going through. And I remember one night I was having dinner with a girlfriend, and I got an email that my attorney needed money that next day, or he was going to pull out of my case. And so while we're
Mm.
talking, my face drops, and she was like, "Something happened. You just read something, and it shifted your whole disposition. What's good?" Now, first off, I didn't want to go to dinner with her, but the Lord prompted me to go. And while I'm sitting there, and she said that, I heard the Spirit say, "Tell her." I tell her, she was like, "Well, how much you need?" I said, "I need 10 grand." No, I said 7 grand. And she said, "Get my checkbook." It's in my glove compartment. Get the
Mm.
checkbook, come back in the restaurant. She writes me a check for $10,000.
See?
Wow.
Okay.
Yep.
All
Yeah.
right. So that held me. And then I have another, my business mentor. She and I were talking, and she knew my situation. She handed me a Discover card with her name on it. It was her account, but it was my name on it. And she says, "You're going to need this in your business. So if
Wow.
anything, I don't want you to fall short on anything. If you need anything, charge it, and just let me know you charged
Wow.
Wow.
it."
Wow.
What- Definitely.
Wow.
And see, and that all comes from being open. Just
Right,
being open.
Yeah.
right,
Wow.
right,
You never know
right.
who's going to bless you.
Never.
And what I'm also hearing, Talita, with you and your daughter working together and your daughter having kids, what you're doing, you're breaking generational curses also.
That's
Because
it.
Mm-hmm.
your daughter is teaching you something, and
Yes,
she's going to
yes,
take this knowledge and hand it to her
yes,
husband and to the
yes,
kids, and then no. So
yes,
you're making a legacy right now. So I
yes.
commend you for just being open with your, because a lot of times we don't want to be open with our family.
And speaking of what, so when Shanika and my son-in-law Tyrese, when they first met, he was working for the state, and
I
being
remember
talking
that.
about being open and honest. He one time he told her they wanted to go out or something, and he just was honest with like, I don't have it. And she's like, "What you mean you don't have it? Where does your money go?" And that opened up a conversation about money. And so he turned over his money to her in their dating game.
Wow.
And she taught
Mm.
him how to budget so that he could
Wow.
have money at the end of the month and wouldn't be struggling. So
Wow.
now in their marriage, he knows when the money comes in, it goes into one pot.
Wow.
It goes in one pot. She has this system, she calls it 30, 30, 30. And 30 goes into savings, 30 goes towards our bills. We have our 10% that goes to our God account, and the other 20% they split down the middle.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a good plan.
Yeah, I like that.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
like that, and the fact that you know what I'm hearing. They got into a financial discussion prior to being
Early,
married, so they knew the picture what they was getting into it when they both said
early.
"I do." And a
Right.
lot of dating people in marriages, they fake that funk until you get married. But like, what those roses used to give me? Oh well, I was
Right.
just trying to court you, baby girl, and
Right.
things changes. So wow, that's
Right.
amazing.
Yeah, and I commend them. They purchased their first townhouse
Mm.
2 years ago, and now they're looking to purchase a larger house, and more than likely use their townhouse as rental income or sell it. I'm not
Wow,
sure, but
wow,
yeah, to your point, Elroy, they started off talking about finances, such that finances is not an issue in their marriage.
right, right.
Wow. That's a blessing right there. Because, a lot of
Hmm.
marriages break up over finance.
Because of money.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I always tell
Mm-hmm.
people it's not so much the woman controls the money or the man controls the money. It's like who best manages money should be the
Right.
one managing the money.
Right.
It shouldn't
And
be,
I
I'm a
attribute
man,
that
I'm
to
this,
Raleigh
no.
North
Okay, wow, okay.
I think Dr. Chapman preached about that during the time that Tyrese was there.
Okay,
And he was
okay.
like, you know, a lot of men walk around like I'm the man, I'm running the money, and you run that and you run the family into the ground. If she's better with handling the money, hand it
Right,
over to her.
right,
Yeah.
right.
So that I think they got that teaching from Raleigh. Well, you know, men, y'all gotta be able to have somebody that you can listen to.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Right.
so,
Right.
yeah, he was able to receive that. And so it, you know, it doesn't challenge his manhood that his wife, you know, before I make a big purchase, I got to check with my wife.
Right. Right.
Right.
Because
No,
you know
no
that
hidden
ego thing is
secrets.
that ego
Right.
thing is real.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's
Yep.
incredible. Because
Mm-hmm.
we had some friends that was the opposite of that. The guy, he pretended that he had all this money, had it going on, and when he
Yeah.
was wooing her to, and they got married, and then she looking
Mhm.
at him like, "Where's all the money?" And he's like, "I don't have any money. I just did that to get you, and it
Oh
worked." But
God.
of course, it didn't. It lasted a while, but it didn't. But eventually, they had to go separate ways because she was not happy. Because he basically duped her into marrying him.
Yep. As I was gonna say, that's a grounds for annulment, fraud.
Yeah. All right, legal system,
Look,
Miss
I just say do.
Lawyer.
I just say do. I tell my friends do normal, because whatever you present, you can maintain. You need to maintain that. Look, I'm going to call Talita Bryant and law firm. Wow. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah,
But
that's
that is, yeah, you just got to keep it real. And one thing that coming from a family where it wasn't, we had what we needed, but it wasn't a bunch of extras. I never really asked for a lot. So
Mm-hmm.
even now with Roy, I it's just I always know that the money got to come from somewhere, and
Mm-hmm.
somehow we're going. And I hate owing people, so I
Right.
know not to be doing because I like having nice stuff. Everybody like having nice stuff, but I ain't trying to give all my money away.
yeah,
Right. Right.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Right. I'm with
I,
you.
I,
So my freedom and my quality of life is more
mhm.
important than
Right,
the latest name brand.
right,
yeah, yeah.
right,
That's a
right.
And
cost. It's a cost.
through
Yeah.
both of those through both of those financial deserts, that's what I learned. And the funny thing is, because I'm an attorney, and I don't know, maybe just because of how I carry myself, people just assume, you know, like they'll
Mm-hmm.
ask me, well, you know, where did you get that from, or who you wearing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, nah, I'm not caught up in all that. And matter of
No.
fact, I do put, you know, money into my clothing, quality clothing, and it keeps. So I'm like the children
Right.
of Israel. I've had this for 40 years. 40 years. It did wear out. But you ain't gotta know that. I'm gonna remix it, accessorize it, and it's gonna look like a brand new outfit. It ain't none of your business.
Talita, you are something else. That's real talk
That's
right there, though.
that's it.
Yes.
That is. And we
Yes.
just have to be mindful of that. It's like I said, it's nice to have nice things. Everybody like nice things, but you have to keep it all in perspective.
Perspective. Right. Right.
So,
Right.
Talita,
Right.
you talked about your mom a little bit living in Cannes, and then your dad. So were they were split up? I'm hearing, or were they in the same household, different households?
No, different households. My
Okay.
yeah, I don't remember a time that they were actually together. It was off and
Okay.
on. And then they
Okay.
divorced when I was like 10. So I was primarily raised by my grandmother until my mom decided she wanted to be responsible for my brother and I. And that's when we moved into the house where, you know, it's a little house.
Okay. So
That's
then,
all.
Yeah.
so how were you
Yeah.
able to adjust though? I mean, because your mom had one rule of getting money out of the can. Your dad had another rule. Do you think just having that knowledge helped you to one day to sit back and reflect on the two differences of approaches of money to where you are now? You think that poured into you now?
Mhm. Well, my thing was I knew what I didn't want.
Okay.
I knew I didn't
Mm.
want to struggle.
Okay.
I knew what I want. I knew what I didn't want. And so what the life that I was living with them, either one of them, when I look at their lives, I knew I didn't want that. And so
Okay.
what do I need to do
I understand
to
that.
be different? And education was the only
Okay.
thing that I saw that would explain why, some people were successful and some people weren't. And then, like I said, and then so I went that route. But then God, like I said, God had to show me, I don't care who you follow. Unless I'm in it, it ain't gonna work. And that may be different for somebody else, but that was what he did for me.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
And so there's
Yeah.
money, there's lessons in the Bible about money. Jesus says, what man builds a house and not count the cost.
Kind of like, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He says in Deuteronomy 8:18, it's me that gives you wisdom to create wealth.
That's right. Yeah.
Through me, through a multitude of business, a dream is realized.
Come on now.
Yeah.
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 They
So,
have church.
right. And so, yeah, I can go on and on, but to that point, like I was saying earlier, I was like, okay, God, either I'm missing it or you're missing it. Like, I need you to show me. And he did. So I created, in 2007, I started, sitting down every morning and taking time with him. And then taking that time with him, he would give me scripture. Like I needed money. And he said, if I be lifted up, I'm going to draw. I'm going to draw all the men.
Oh, man.
Say, give, and it shall be given to you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Shall God cause men to give unto your bosom? Okay, I read that. Then he said, but if I be lifted up, I'm going to draw them. So, okay, God, I got to lift you up. And as I lift you up and do what you say, you're going to bring the money. Now, I need help with how do I manage it? Where do I allocate it? How do I be a good steward over what you've given me?
Right. Right. And that's something I'm going to give a plug out to our ministry, Raleigh North Christian Center Ministry. The pastors are Apostle Dr. Jeffrey Chapman Sr. and Lady Sandy Chapman. That's something he's teaching us right now, seeking God above all else.
Above all
seeking
else.
God's face above all else. And when you put that in perspective, watch what he do. Watch what he do.
Right. And then too, at the time, he says, test me, prove me, try it out.
Yeah, he that bad. Try me.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm trying it. But right now it ain't working. But again, he had to show me how to make it. But it wasn't him, it was me. I had to reposition. I had to refocus. Okay, God, I'm bringing it in. Now teach me how to manage it.
Right.
Teach me how to manage it.
Right.
Where to allocate it. Where to put this. Okay, no. And then too, I got this rule. If I see something that I want, I give myself 24 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm in a store and I see some shoes. I love shoes. If I see some shoes, I pick them up. I look at them. They might be a little bit out of my price range, but I don't do impulsive spending.
Yeah.
So I give myself 24 hours, and within that 24 hours, maybe I have talked myself out of it, or I've told myself, yes, we can do this.
Right. And I always say, if it's still there, then it was meant to be.
It's meant for me. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
And if it ain't, it wasn't.
Yeah. Right. Right. Well, girl, this has been an amazing session. Y'all, this is our very first session, and we had it with our closest friend, Miss Lita Bryant. So we just thank you. This was real talk was real talk. I enjoyed this.
And thank you for being patient. Like I said, I told you, I said the third time's gonna be the charm. We'll get it going.
Right.
For everybody for everybody that's listening, this is, like I said, our first time doing this. So it took us 45 minutes to get this session going.
And to drive home by Toledo. Flying down 440, 540. Sliding across the highway.
But the determination and a lot of trust, and
Yes.
God worked it out. We got
Yeah.
it going.
Well,
So
like I said, the devil don't want the message to go out to be able to help people to do better and to do more. Anytime we're
right,
trying to
Hmm.
progress in a positive way, and then we are building the kingdom for His kingdom. He don't want it to
Hmm.
go across anybody airways. He's trying to shut that thing down. And then we
Right.
give up, we give in to Him. So the thing is
Hmm.
to push forward. No
Right.
matter the cost, you got to push forward. And it's the same thing with your finances. You got to sit down, get a plan. I always tell people, you can have a plan, but unless you activate that plan, it's just pen to
Hmm.
paper. You got to put that
Hmm.
thing into motion. You know,
Hmm.
yeah,
you just
Hmm.
can't just let it sit there.
And to piggyback off of you, in addition to your finances, I hear now the push, for people to go into business for yourself, to be an entrepreneur. And, there's all these courses out there online that will teach you, quote unquote, how to be an entrepreneur. But one of the things I'm
Mm.
not seeing is that push forward, because just because, you purchased the course and you got this coach, you still have to put in the work. I don't care what
right.
it is. So if it's, getting your finances right, you got to push forward through the tough times. If it's starting a business, you have to push forward through the tough times. Anything worth having, you're gonna have to push forward and make it work.
That's
So
right.
yeah, so I just want to put that plug about business, because I see so many people, saying they want to start business and then within a year fizzled out and gave up because they haven't given them the returns that they want. But it's stability and consistency that keeps a business going.
That's
Well,
right.
Talita,
That's
you
right.
about the business now, so you help us get started. So you want to give them your website that they can look to, because you help entrepreneurs get started, getting business off the ground. And we came to you,
Sure,
and you truly help us
sure.
out. So give the information out if you don't mind. How can they reach to you? Because you're that kind of lawyer.
So my firm's website is Bryant, Bryant, Brown, like the color, BROWN law.com. BryantBrownLaw.com. That's our website, and all of our contact information is on there, and our social medias are on there as well. And the reason why I didn't want to give them out, because I have so many. I'm actually launching a company, and the title of the name of the company is Basileia Counsel.
Mm.
And in
Mm,
Basileia Counsel, yes, you have the legal side and you have the accounting side with my daughter.
Okay.
So for those people
Oh,
who are
okay.
wanting to start a business, you want to start a business, we want to stay on with you, similar to what I have done with you, Elroy and Robin, except for I'm bringing the accounting in on it.
Okay.
And so we'll get you
Wow. Excellent.
established. We'll coach you through, and we'll stay, hooked in to make sure that your business is successful. In the first year, you have a lot of questions, and we want to make sure that we're
Yes,
there
Lord.
to be able
Yes,
to answer
Lord.
those legal and those accounting questions, so you don't have to guess and then, have some type of um, calamity because you didn't guess right. So
Right.
just being a avenue for business owners. Yeah.
Well, you've been a
so
blessing to us.
yeah. So
Thank you.
Talita, can you the name of the new business? Can you spell it out again?
It's Basileia, Basileia Counsel,
Okay. Okay.
BasileiaCounsel.com.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And also, what
And
I'll do.
we're already on Instagram as Basileia Counsel, on
Okay.
Instagram.
Okay. Gotta follow
Um.
you.
Mm-hmm.
And what
Yes,
and what
please.
I'll do is in the description for this podcast, I'll put your website and the law firm as well as the news, so people already see that there.
Yes, yeah, because a lot of
Mm,
times when people think lawyer, they think a lot of money, and I can't afford it.
Right. Yeah.
So
Right.
with Basileia
mm.
Counsel, I would rather you come to me before. It's cheaper to come to me before than it is to come to me when you got litigation.
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah. Thank you so much,
Okay.
guys. And it's been a
Thank you.
pleasure. Yes, and I'm enjoying the journey alongside you all as you continue to endeavor to launch your business and your app.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you and we love you.
Love you too.
All
All
right,
right.
y'all.
Robin,
That's
All
you
it
right.
begin
for
this
us.
thing. So, Talita,
Yes.
you'll be getting a second email for the second part of the presentation with the app.
Okay. All right.
All right.
All right.
All right. Time to go. All
All
right.
right. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Well, thank you for tuning in to our podcast, Financeology 101. I hope you enjoyed this session and the information provided will assist you on your financial journey. Until next time, be financially engaged.